Hello, Brick Fanatics. Every once in a while, a Lego set comes along that just makes you go, what? Just what? This is LEGO 41839 Message Board. It is a set that has been widely mocked on the internet for being basic LEGO for basic people, the vanilla-scented candle of LEGO sets. The LEGO set that you would put on the wall instead of a sign saying live, laugh, love. Or indeed, as well as a sign saying live, laugh, love, because you can make this say whatever you want it to. I think my favourite description of it was beige Lego for beige people. For the kind of person who wants to have Lego on display in their home but who doesn't like colour or fun or any kind of creativity. It is a set which can say whatever you want it to say. It can say our family, fun, at, love, home, or it can say everything is awesome, or it can say home your is bricks where are. You can do with it whatever you like, and in practice that means that a lot of people are going to be using it for rude words. I wanted to come into this review and do something a little bit differently. Given how much hatred this Lego set has received on the internet, I wanted to try and find the positive. I wanted to find the person for whom this Lego set is a good fit, because ultimately my opinion is that there are no bad Lego sets. There are just Lego sets that are designed for some people and not for others, and surely somewhere out there must be the right person for this Lego set. Maybe those beige people deserve Lego sets as well, right? Surely, even if it's not the most interesting or fun Lego set in the world, it's at least for somebody. And then I really looked at the box of it. I really looked at it and I spotted the thing that really made me think even the Lego group isn't committed to this set. Because if you open it up and you reach inside and you poke around for a bit, you reach into the instruction manual and you find out that it is just a series of pieces of paper that show you how to put the letters together. Maybe you go so far as to thumb through the instruction booklet that shows you a little bit of how to clip together the Technic pins that hold the whole thing together. Here it is, here's the thing that upset me the most. A sticker sheet. A sticker sheet for a Lego set where there are 12 elements that have any kind of joy or whimsy, and it turns out they're not even printed. It's very clear here that a lot of the inspiration for this set is the kind of dots approach that the Lego group has taken with a bunch of things recently, where you can make a bunch of little tiny printed elements and allow people the creativity to explore and to create their own patterns and designs, and you can just give them the tools to do that. And normally with dots, they've always been printed. And here we've got what are essentially giant dots, but they're not printed, an indication that the Lego group really doesn't have any faith in this set. Now, stickers are not particularly popular across the board, I would say. Some people, some weird people, really enjoy the experience of sticking a sticker onto a Lego element, but most people, I would say, when they see a sticker, they go, "Aw, why?" And the reason why is sometimes financial, but also just the logistics of printing elements means that it does take up a little bit more space in the warehouse. It just adds a little bit to the challenge of the mechanics and the actual logistics of making a Lego set. And so for that reason, the Lego group will often opt for elements with stickers instead in cases where they don't necessarily want to commit to the additional faff that is involved with printed pieces. You get printed pieces on a Lego set that the Lego group expects to sell very well, or where they can use the printed element more than once in more than one set. And you get stickers normally when the Lego group thinks this is not necessarily going to be the biggest spender, this is not going to be one that's making us a lot of money, it's not necessarily going to be one that we need to print loads and loads and loads and loads of this thing, so we'll just do it the quicker and the cheaper and the easier way. That's not a hard and fast rule. Sometimes you'll get a Lego set that the Lego group is not expecting to sell loads of, but then has printed pieces at a kind of premium extra experience, and sometimes you get stickers used in places where the Lego group is going to be printing a load of them but just doesn't want the hassle anyway. And in this case, it feels like a hedging of bets to go with stickers rather than with printed elements, as if the Lego group isn't really sure how well this thing is going to sell, because potentially it could be taking up another 12 slots in the factory warehouses where they're arranging all of their elements before they go into the boxes, and they've decided it's not actually worth committing to that if they don't know how well this Lego set is going to sell. At least that's how it feels to look at this and to look at this sticker sheet and to realise that with a Lego set where there's so little extra kind of whimsy and charm here that the LEGO group has only those 12 elements to play with, and they've decided that actually they would rather just ship a bunch of bland blank tiles instead. Now, as you might have noticed, I haven't actually built it yet. I am complaining about a LEGO set that I have only seen and now experienced the sticker sheet for. And who knows, maybe I'm going to have a revelatory experience while putting this thing together. Perhaps it will turn out that the true treasure was the friends I made along the way, in this case the friends being a bunch of LEGO letters. So who knows, perhaps this is actually really going to click with me, and maybe appearances really are going to be deceiving. And there is only one way to find out. It is time for me to build the thing. Plot twist, it didn't. This is absolutely one of the worst LEGO building experiences I have ever had in my life, because all of the bits are the same colour. The manual very helpfully points out that you're gonna want like some little partitions or little cups or little bowls or something to put all of these pieces in. And that's fairly standard for a lot of LEGO art sets, or a lot of the LEGO sets where you're dealing with a little bit of creativity and flexibility, and the way that you put it together is normally a bit more team or family oriented, so that's fair enough. But with other sets, you can get away with putting multiple different types of elements in the same little bowls because they're often different colours. So for example, if you're building something with a lot of LEGO dots, or an art set that's this giant little mess of tiny little studs, then you can get away with putting multiple colours into the same little bowls. With this one, you're going to need more bowls than you think. However many bowls you think you're going to need, you're going to need a few more, because if you have, for example, a 2x1 element in there with a little stud element, or with like a 3x1, then you're just going to be like scrounging around trying to find the right thing and not knowing which of the many bowls they're in. And also, because it's a team building LEGO experience, you're going to be reaching over somebody else and getting in somebody else's way, and it's all just a bit of a mess. It reminds me less of building a LEGO set and more like building a jigsaw puzzle, where a lot of the effort is just spent searching around for the right piece. And in this case, because they're all white, it's like doing that classic baked bean jigsaw puzzle, where all of the pieces look exactly the same, and so you're really just going off of the vague contours and trying to figure out which one is which to go in which space. I feel like with some perspective, I gave this thing way too hard a time about the stickers. Like, yeah, sure, I was disappointed in that because I thought that that would be at least the bare minimum that one might expect from a LEGO set like this, that it would just at least have printed elements. But no, in retrospect, I feel like I made too much of a mountain of a molehill there, because that is not this set's biggest problem. That is not even close. So as said, you've got a bunch of these different sheets here, and I, not having looked at them before, assumed that they were all multiple copies of the same one so that different people could be working on different letters at the same time. No, each of these sheets is different. They feature different letters on here, and you understand why when you actually get in here and you start looking, because, for example, you've got A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, or just H even, and then on the other side, you've got all the different variants that you could possibly have of an A for different languages, and that's fair enough because it's good that they've included those, and you've got like different punctuation and stuff like that. But the problem is, because each of these sheets contain a part of the whole and you don't have duplicates, if multiple people are trying to build very common letters at the same time, like somebody wants to do, for example, I don't know, let's pick up one of these at random. Like, say for example, somebody needs to do an S and somebody needs to do a W at the same time. They're two very common letters in the English language, but it is difficult to look at the sheet for everybody sat around a table if you've just got the one of them, because people are going to try and spin it around or kind of reach over each other. It doesn't really suit team building, and that is really something that this LEGO set was supposed to be sold on. Admittedly, completely honestly, I did this with my kids as a family, and so I can kind of understand that that might not be the experience for grown-ups trying to share this LEGO set, but at the same time, I know a lot of LEGO builders who are grown-ups and behave exactly the same as children when it comes to stuff like this, so I don't imagine that that's going to fix the problem. There is a second copy of some of the letters instructions in the manual if you're building, for example, the Our Family Fun Love at Home one, which I did first before then reassembling it into this lovely catchphrase. The thing is, I could convert it back to this one to show you the problems that I had with that, But I don't want to, because actually changing this from one slogan to another is such a laborious process. That's leaving aside the question of whether or not you've got the right letters, because maybe you need to peel everything off of this and to put another bunch of letters on. And if that's the case, then that's really going to take you forever. But even if you are just taking this and popping bits off and reassembling it, because of all of the Technic pins that hold the whole thing together, you have to go pulling out Technic bits and stuffing other bits onto other bits and just building this whole thing. And it is such a faff, and I cannot be bothered to do it. So continue, please, to look at this wonderful Live, Laugh, Love one instead. The good news is that I can still kind of show you one of the problems that I had with the Our Family at Home one on this, because it's going to be true for all of the different types of variations of slogans that you can put this thing together for. It's got so much wobble here. Do you see this? Like, this is a relatively stocky, contained version, and it's got so much wobble because of all of these Technic pins at the back. And admittedly, I've not entirely reattached this the way that it's supposed to be, but you can see that you need like crossbars and different things in order to just hold it together. And even down at the base in particular, there's so much wobble that if, for example, it's a little bit wider and a little bit taller, as it is with some of the different variations of this, it's just so easy to just accidentally, whoops, knock the whole thing down. It's astounding. There's nothing about this that works well. Everything was a chore to put together, and it's in no way a stable build once it's done. I cannot recommend this for anybody. I know that I said that there is the right audience for every Lego set. I think I was wrong. I think the right audience for this set, the people who are going to get the most out of this, are people who want to build their own custom creations using a lot of different white tile pieces, because once these things go on a deep sail, it's going to be a very efficient way of picking up a lot of elements. Apart from that, anybody who actually wants to display something in their home that looks vaguely like this, there's so much better options in the Lego catalogue already, and this one just does not do anything well. Alright, let's go to the process of just rearranging this and putting something else on it. Everything off. Put that, wait. I've had to use an @ symbol instead of an A, but you get my point. Sad beige fail. Do not buy this Lego set unless you want to punish somebody. If you want to really, really upset someone, then yeah, sure, this is the perfect gift to give them. But otherwise, it's just going to make you sad and beige, and it is a fail. I apologise for not showing more of the different ways that this Lego set can be put together. Please do not forget to like, share, and The end.